Mrs. Chase, we would like to ask you, first of all, which is your vision about the global PV supply chain with everything that happened this year and that is still happening now?
So right now, solar module prices are significantly higher than they were in 2020 and higher than they were for most of 2021. We keep expecting them to fall again. The price of solar modules always falls because of improving technology, and there will be about 40% more polysilicon made this year than last year. However, global demand for solar modules is very strong, and inflation and logistics and supply chain difficulties is keeping prices high, keeping prices at the 26 US cent per watt level, whereas it was actually as low as 19 US cents per watt in 2020. Although inflation means that that's not as big a difference as you might have thought.
Okay. How do you expect the global demand to evolve in the next years?
So we think that the global demand will grow. We think that this year about 238 gigawatts of solar will be built worldwide, up from about 185 gigawatts last year. And that trend will continue, though there are fewer markets now that are starting from no solar. So I think that we're not going to see the continued exponential growth, but rather a sort of steady growth from those levels. But definitely solar is not going away. With or without support, we're going to have a lot of solar.
What about the European market? What do you expect, and which you think are the more interesting markets in Europe?
To me, Europe is a relatively boring set of markets. It's not like Indonesia or Vietnam. It's not clearly somewhere that's waiting to explode in terms of solar demand. So Germany, for example, is it going to be 5 gigawatts? Is it going to be 8 gigawatts a year? It's a little bit less exciting. One interesting place is Poland. Poland first of all, Poland has a relatively modest 7.3 gigawatt target by 2030, which it's quite possibly met already, because it set this accidentally over-generous subsidy scheme for rooftop solar. And then we were expecting it to be cut catastrophically this year, but it's not cut catastrophically. It's actually still quite good. So it's anybody's guess what's going to happen in Poland. I think that could be a rapidly growing market, and I think the government might be slightly surprised by how big it gets, how quickly.